what is it they say? Film makes you rich, television makes you famous, and theatre makes you good.
The bliss of the abyss.
Once upon a time in a land far away, a poor farmer and his wife lived all alone. They were very lonesome.
The Bliss of the Abyss.
With Robert Newmark Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Bliss of the Abyss. I am your host, Robert Newmark Jones, also known as Ruskin Denmark. How are we doing this afternoon, this evening, this morning, wherever you are, what time it is, whatever you are doing? Hello, welcome. Apologies for the slight delay this week in the show. I am sick as a dog, and I think it's because I ate some curry goat. And it was so delicious at the time, but I don't think my belly liked it very much. Nevertheless, I would recommend curry goat for anyone out there who hasn't had it, despite me saying it made me sick, and potentially people find goat meat more disgusting than other meat. Am I projecting? I mean, I don't, but I think from conversations I've had with people, it seems to be looked down upon, seen as a lesser protein. But this isn't about me, this episode, no, because I have a wonderful guest on the show. Actor. Actually, I better check she calls herself an actor or an actress. I don't know. Actress, writer, comedian, Sarah Crowden. And we also have a drop-in guest, a member of the aristocracy, actually. So, first one on the podcast. Would you believe it, eh? It's only taken me 38 episodes to get one of the toffs on, but I've done it. I've nailed it. So I'll leave that for a surprise for when you're listening and enjoying as me and Sarah talk about all kinds of exciting things, from William Shakespeare, no, not that one, swearing in Dutch, social media for the Illuminati, and then, you know, if I wanted to drop a list of names that Sarah has worked with, I would be embarrassed because it's so long and strong. So I'll drop the names in the podcast information, details, show notes, what do you call them? But suffice to say, we talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of great anecdotes in this one, and just, I think, a really lovely conversation. So without any further ado, I present Sarah Crowden.
The Bliss of the Abyss.
Hello.
Oh, hello. That was very quick. All right.
I'm sitting with my phone reading about the late Barbara Windsor.
Yes. R.I.P. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ever meet her?
I'm not. Yes, I think she did The Bad Sex one year.
Yeah.
There we are. Right up to. Yes. Do you want me on speaker?
It probably would be better quality if you're not on speaker, to be honest.
Not on speaker. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Where did it bite you?
Oh my goodness! All up and down my arm, all up and down. I still.
Is that your own cat?
No, although it was sort of a semi-adopted one.
The one that's in all the photos, the black one.
No. Luckily not. No, she's too much of a wuss.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, it turns out. No, this is sort of the neighbourhood cat who's a bit of a tough guy, but a sweetheart. He got into a scrap with her, and I tried to defend her honour.
Oh.
And it resulted in many bites. Really sank its little teeth into me, the bastard.
Little fucker. Boot up the arse. Boot it to Crowden. Little fucker. God, I'm glad you're all right. How horrific.
I mean, it was, yeah. And I've worked out that I'm not very good with amoxicillin because
no.
Every time I took it, about 15 minutes later, I'd start to get all shuddery and cold. Which is, you know, as reactions go, it's not the best. It's definitely not the worst. But I think in future, I'm just going to be very much avoiding that if they offer it to me.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah.
No, they are. They now you know. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Are you allergic to penicillin? Yes, I am.
Yeah, or at least whatever that version of it was, I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was horrid. Horrid.
I should say now I'm a podcast virgin. I've never done one. I was going to do one, and then it all went tits up. But I've done I've done some online comedy, and it was edited. So some of it. So yes.
Well, I do some editing, but usually only if utterly necessary. So
yes.
Mostly I tend to like the natural flow of the conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
That's just me. That's just my style. How does that sound?
Natural flow, like a good urine sample.
No, why don't we just launch into it, seeing as we're already talking and having a nice time? Hello.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show. How are you doing, my lovely Sarah?
Thank you. I'm very well. This is Sarah Crowden, for those of you who don't know me, which there are legion, I'm sure.
I'll do a really nice intro for you up top. Don't you worry about that.
Actress, writer, and stand-up comedian.
Wow, that's right. Of much repute. And for those who don't know how we know one another, we met rehearsing and performing Bang Bang, the Colchester hit, not the subsequent tour flop. Would you say that's a fair summation?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, Robert Newmark Jones is responsible for my stand-up career.
Aha, you heard it here first, folks. That's right. I can claim full credit. I believe there's even a video of me introducing you on your website. On my very first gig ever, where I thought I was going to be sick all over the MC. And I'm wearing some kind of ridiculous crepe paper pink hat. I don't know how that happened. Very suitable. It was emblematic of the kind of night that was, really. Yeah, because, I remember because as I said, we did Bang Bang, which is a farce written by John Cleese, or adapted by John Cleese, perhaps is a better way of putting it. And your character was the, why don't you explain how the origin, instead of me talking? My character was the Countess, and the Countess ran a Parisian brothel, which was visited by the main man, unknown to his wife, until she found out he was pretending that he was going shooting, hence the title Bang Bang. It's actually by Fado, and it's called La Chasse, the original. But it's been done a few times. It's been done a few times in rep, actually, in different adaptations over the years. But this was also directed by the wonderful, iconic Nicky Henson. Oh, amazing. Rest in peace. Yes, who I'd worked with John, but he's very well known for his episode of Fawlty Towers, when he plays a man with a hairy chest and a medallion. And Nicky was wonderful. He was an absolute fount of stories. And, oh my God, wasn't he? Yes, it was hilarious. And he screamed with laughter every day in rehearsals, even though he'd seen it about 1,600 times. He still, and all the way during the show, he came every night. He moved down to Colchester so he could come to the show every night. Which, for those who don't know, is pretty rare for a director. Yes, once, and then I'd say not even the last night, some of them. No, sometimes not even the first. Sometimes not even the first night. Oh, don't. But yeah, I mean, we can get into talking about Nicky Henson for sure, because there's lots of lovely stories about him. But how the comedy thing came up is your character would come on with a trolley and sort of address the audience, sort of, set the scene of the boudoir and I don't know how much of it was you or how much of it was in the script, but it was definitely kind of becoming a stand-up set. And I noticed it. And I think I spoke with you about that and encouraged that. Yes. On the last night, I said, by the way, Robert, I see in the programme that you do stand-up. And I hate when people say this, I want to have a go. Because it introduces it, really. It's one of the hardest things. Well, all the actors I know who know I do stand-up will say how brave I am. Don't they all, It's not that. I just thought, well, my idea, you may have to edit this bit out. The reason I do stand-up is there's a saying called, and it goes like this: why does a dog lick its balls? And the answer is because it can. And that's why I do stand-up, because I can. And so she evolved Dame Theresa-Thompson's Gazelle. Yeah, where did you get the name?
A friend of mine, we were in Greece on holiday. My friend Ronald Rentboy and I were on holiday in Corfu and leaping up and down a mountain. And he said, "You're just like a Thompson's Gazelle." So he named me Theresa-Thompson's Gazelle. And then I thought, well, this is a marvelous name. But she's a dame, you see, for services to the WI. She's very marvelous, and she's hard to keep down, really. I think I can hear her knocking at the door.
Oh, really?
Yes. Hello? Hello? It's Dame Theresa-Thompson's Gazelle.
Ah, Dame.
May I come in? Yes. Hello. Is that nice young man? Yes. Robert. Yes, absolutely. Also known as Ruskin. You know, my grandfather knew Ruskin, John Ruskin. Yes, the art critic. Yes. Marvellous. Yes, I'm an African plains animal on my mother's side, only I don't have forelegs, horns, or hooves. But I may have a vestigial tail. Well, that could have been the soap in the bath the other day. Anyway, yes, I know these podcast things where one talks about oneself, which is the height of vulgarity in Gazelle land, of course. And I never talk about myself in Gazelle towers.
Is that really not a done thing in Gazelle society?
Not the thing. Absolutely not allowed. No, not permitted.
What is permitted discussion amongst gazelles?
Well, it really depends. If Crumpet, my lodger, is in, we talk philosophy and we talk about television, what's on the television. If my school friend Anne Ally is present, she came at the beginning of lockdown and she's never left. And she's led a really long and very rather useless life. And she is still here, unfortunately, but she has no conversation whatsoever. She never had at school either.
Oh, wow. Okay. So is this sort of care in the community that you're doing for her? Well,
I suppose it must be, yes, because I'm absolutely unable to do any of my WI lectures. I normally do one in the autumn about, and it's titled "Trimming Your Autumn Bush," and it's usually for people who've got holly or bay in their front gardens and they need a little bit of help. And I have another lecture called "Making Lampshades with Firm Materials," which is very popular with the over 60s. And what else? Let me think. Oh, yes, I make Easter baskets at Easter, and they have rampant rabbits round the rim. Because I've been told that rampant rabbits round the rim are very enjoyable to all and sundry.
Now,
we must always remember sundry.
Aren't rampant rabbits? Am I getting this wrong? Is that a type of small mammal?
Rabbit.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a rabbit and it's upright.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I was getting confused with something else. Can't even remember what really.
Really? Oh, well, I've led a very sheltered life and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is that so? How has the lockdown been for the aristocracy in general and yourself?
Well, it's been rather dull. A lot of brisk walks with Anne and no conversation, as I say.
Yeah.
We see the odd bit of game. And Crumpet occasionally takes a turn around the cottage with me. I sometimes have to chase him upstairs, and he sometimes struggles with the restraints. But no, it's been very, very dull, really. A lot of cooking. I've looked at my old wartime recipes for all the pies and things. It's been marvelous, and my vegetable garden's been fantastic. Except for my neighbour, Mr. Hanson. He keeps chickens, and they come in and they scratch up my euphorbias.
Oh
it's
no!
Very painful.
Wow.
It's dreadful.
Euphorbias, now they're the plants that weep milk, don't they? So
that's correct. That's correct. So I've been putting it in Anne's tea in the hopes that it might sedate her, but it hasn't worked so far, unfortunately.
Oh well, I'm glad to see that you're keeping yourself busy. What are you doing round Sarah's house?
Oh, I come to visit. Oh, this is a woman. She's got the most marvelous archive, full of books with the most extraordinary titles. And she claims to be an actress, but I've never seen her in anything.
Oh, really? I've seen her in things. How dare you? That's very rude, you know.
No. Lots of people claim to be actors and actresses and writers, and indeed, I believe, stand-up comedians.
Yeah, well, people will claim all sorts of things. I agree with you there.
They do, and they've claimed them even more during lockdown. It's been frightfully tiresome. I had to come off. I was on social media, puffing my lectures, but I had to come off because people started getting very malicious.
Oh, yes, it is a bit of a cesspool, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Now, the Illuminati, do you not have your own kind of social media that we're not allowed to be on? us commoners?
Yes, we have. Yes, indeed, we have pigeons and dogs. Yes, we send messages by pigeon, and as we did when I was in the SOE during the war.
Has that technology been updated at all, or is it just still how it always was?
No, it's still how it absolutely was, and because the pigeons can't carry very much.
Right. What's the heaviest load a pigeon can bear?
6 rolls of quarto manuscript.
Okay. So you've been keeping in touch with your pals in the
yes,
in the Lords and Ladies, and
yes.
they send pigeons back and forth. Now, just a question: do you have to feed the pigeon when it arrives? Or is it?
Yes, I do. I have seeds for that because I've got a dwarf hamster upstairs.
Oh, you do? What happened to it?
Yes, I do. Well, it's seeds that are very useful for the pigeons, dear. But also, I've been leaving out my vegetables. My courgettes are very popular with the women in the village. They're all different sizes. Yes, they're all different sizes and textures. Some of them, and I also, yes, the courgettes and there's also the longer cucumbers as well.
Not the short ones.
No, much longer ones. They're very popular too with the ladies.
Oh, okay. Now, Sarah actually gave me some of her cucumbers. I don't know if you two share an allotment space or anything like that. I'm sure you don't. I'm sure you have your own.
No, absolutely not.
But Sarah's were very bulbous and a little bit hairy. Are yours like that?
Yes, they are. It's rather marvellous. I've given them all names, as you may be aware. Yes, they're called after my 3 husbands.
Oh, you've got 3? Oh, is that not?
Yes,
presumably one after the other. Yes, okay.
Yes.
Oh, and
yes,
what did they? I'm so sorry
young.
to hear that they're all passed. That's.
Oh, well, life moves on. And
well,
they're
yes.
Not too far away. My cottage is very close to the graveyard, so I go and visit them all.
Okay, right. How tragic. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at that.
Yes, I'm thrilled. I mean, I can't stretch my pension too far these days, and one of them left me a very fine legacy.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear.
Including a Hepplewhite chair.
Sorry.
Which I'm sitting on even as we speak. A Hepplewhite chair.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Sorry, I'm common as muck. What is that? Just a nice chair.
It's a very fine Georgian chair, and it belonged to his late mother. And I had it recovered.
That didn't go to his side of the family. That all went to.
No, not at all. No, not at all. None of his chattels did. I kept the lot.
I see. Presumably you have the best legal team money can buy.
Oh, absolutely. Rather a doddery old solicitor, but he's a nice old chap.
Oh, yeah?
He's not SIT, I'm afraid.
Oh, it's not SIT.
No, not safe in taxes, dear. Not at all. I have to watch it when I sit down.
Is he a bit rickety?
He leaves his hand out, and I often sit on it, and it's very unpleasant.
Oh, dear. I'm sorry to hear that. Doesn't sound very professional.
No, it isn't really, but he does give me a discount from time to time.
Oh, well, there we go. Swings and roundabouts, though.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, dear.
Good. Well, it's been really lovely talking to you. I mean, you've kind of gate crashed. I was meant to be talking with Sarah, so you've sort of, I mean, I guess, you aristocracy, you think you're entitled to everything, don't you? So you think,
Absolutely. But I am frightfully busy at the moment. I've got to decorate the Christmas tree. I've got my balls out, and I'm just having a look at the sizes and deciding which branches they go on. So I'm going to go now, and here I am. Hello, Robert. Sorry about that.
That's fine. It was nice talking to the dame. I haven't actually spoke to her in a while.
I think I might have to lace her Horlicks with slightly stronger sedatives.
Yeah, it sounds like she's a little bit loopy.
Yes.
I mean, I do remember her being slightly off the wall, but it seems like maybe she's taken some new medication because she does seem slightly strange.
Yes, she got hold of she got hold of some Class A drugs, and
wow.
I'm not quite sure how. She's friendly with the local constable in her village, and I think he might have shown them to her, and she palmed them into her handbag. So she's been having a very merry time, but I think she needs it because Anne Ally is an awful nuisance.
Yes, sounds like it, absolutely. Now,
yes.
And how often do you two hang out?
She's been online. She's quite technologically okay, so she's been online, and she's been doing some of the gigs, her lectures. And ding dong.
Oh, that's the doorbell. Hold on a sec. Let me see. This could be exciting. Give me 2 seconds.
How exciting.
Hello. What's going on in here then?
What did you get?
I'm going to drop the character very quickly. Caitlin got a package. Nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know. Can you believe it?
Oh.
I'm expecting
Well, I
some
hope we can do a chutney run before Christmas and maybe get chutney over. Or just after Christmas, I'll try it. Depends on this blooming tier thing, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
If we go to tier 3, we won't be going anywhere.
Well, that's very much seems to be the rumour that London's moving into tier 3.
Yes.
From experience, all of these rumours so far have pretty much tended to pan out and become fact, haven't they?
Yeah, it's ghastly.
It is. But they're still letting us do Christmas, aren't they?
They are. And they are indeed, such as it is. Yes, we shall see. Yes, we shall see.
Yeah.
But still.
Such a weird time.
It is. It is. But we stagger on.
We do. I mean, and now the vaccine is starting to be rolled out. Did you see the first man to get the vaccine? Did you see
William Shakespeare?
William Shakespeare.
Couldn't make it up. I think Miss Dame Theresa is going to be using that. I think my dear friend William Shakespeare.
I mean, amazing. Yeah, so good. So hopefully maybe by sort of the middle of next year we might be normal. What are you thinking? I mean, I know you're a medical doctor.
I don't know. Yes, quite. Well, my white coat, yes, with the straps that go up at the back. Yes. I don't know. Yes, possibly. I mean, theatre seems to be coming back very, very, very slowly, sooner than expected. I was thinking possibly they were saying 2022 at one point.
Yes, I know.
But I don't know. I mean, I hope it does, because people are really missing it. That's the word I'm getting. Everybody in my street says, we miss theatre terribly. We want it to come back for the good of our souls.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got some friends who are working on one of the ones that's come back, the Death Drop one, and I mean, obviously they're having a lot of fun with it, but from afar, I'm sure it's a great show, but the idea of having to wear a mask for the whole time and being socially distanced in the audience and it being so spread out, it doesn't really sound like the thing that we're missing, does it? Like the thing we're missing is not going to replace that experience, really.
I think there'll be a massive outburst when the weather gets better and they can do more outdoor stuff. I think there's going to be. It was tentative this year, but I think it's going to be massive next year.
Yeah.
Lots of outdoor stuff and lots of not having to social distance quite so much.
Oh, that would be a blessing, wouldn't it, eh?
Well, thank God. Moving swiftly on to my other hat. Yes, I have a writing committee. I write for on a regular basis for a lovely literary quarterly called Slightly Foxed, and I'm currently writing a piece on Enid Bagnold and National Velvet. Her book National Velvet, and she's very interesting, Enid Bagnold. She was married to a chap who ran Reuters over here, and she had, I think, I haven't got to her yet because I'm reading the book, but I think she had 4 children, and the most interesting thing about her is she thought she wasn't any good, and she was hugely successful. National Velvet was a massive film, and she did a play called The Chalk Garden, which was revived at Chichester a couple of years ago, and with Dame Penelope Keith. And
isn't that interesting? Yeah,
she didn't think she was any good.
I mean, I was reading recently about the lives of 2 other authors who had exactly the same thing. H.P. Lovecraft, and who's fantastic. He's so fun. And also, who was the other one? Philip K. Dick.
Oh, yes.
And both of them have really quite extraordinary lives, and both very much doubted their ability to a very high degree. Philip K. Dick was insane. Like he was on speed and tried to kill himself. And when that didn't work, he just let all these other meth addicts into his house and lived on the fringes for years, and then came back with some of his best works, which a lot of them weren't published. And yeah, he was very much living hand to mouth and doubting himself, and and all of that. It's very strange.
Well, she had the pram in the Cyril Connolly pram in the hall as well, that Enid Bagnall. But no, it was an extraordinary life, and she wrote her autobiography, which some literary types were very sniffy about. But it is. I've just dipped in and out of it, but it's very joyous. She's very naughty. She had a rackety life as a young girl, as many of them did. You know, I think she knew Virginia Woolf, and she was a naughty young girl.
Oh, yeah.
But so lots to write about, but it's not going to come out possibly next year, possibly 2022. But the one I did about Penelope Betjeman was another woman who was very much overshadowed by her husband, and she's a wonderful writer, and I wish she'd written more.
I think if you get professional pushback or what's the word, disappointments, it's something we have to deal with on a. You know, in our industry, it's sort of like, and actually in the publishing industry, there are all those stories, aren't there, of like, you know, rejected by 35 publishers, and then the 36th does publish, and suddenly they become like one of the biggest novelists ever, kind of thing.
Yes, and of course she had the other thing, which I said in the piece, was the fact that people think that she was on his shoulders, and actually she was not at all. As she was a totally different writer to him. And the piece I wrote about her was she travelled through Spain when she was 70 on a donkey. On a horse. And she in India, travelling again through India, and that's why she loved India more than anything. But no, I was thinking, muddling with Robert Louis Stevenson and the donkey. Yes, no. She was on a very recalcitrant horse, and she travelled through Spain, and a very devout Catholic, so she learned Spanish through the morning services.
Wow.
The churches she stopped at. Extraordinary.
Wow, incredible. Well,
yeah.
I mean, but those
I love those
sorry, go on.
women.
Yeah. Well, do you think you're one of those sorts? I mean, you've never been overshadowed by anyone. Of course.
The director once said to me, I was doing Blind Spirit playing Edith the Maid, and I was very much younger. And this husband of one of the actresses came to see it, and he went, "Oh my God, that performance was from another planet." But no, apparently not. Apparently there is only one Sarah Crowden.
Yes, there is.
Some people, I think my husband's very grateful. He's strong, but you know, I think one's enough.
Well, you know, you are being modest, which is fine, but it's my job to also highlight some of the amazing people you've worked with. Danny Boyle, Werner Herzog, the Wachowskis, Dustin Hoffman, Terry Jones, Bill Murray, and Rabsi Nesbitt and the Chuckle Brothers. I want to ask you about all of those things, but first, I want to play a game with you. Are you ready? Do you want to play a game?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm always game, yes.
So, this is the Sarah Crowden Rotten Tomatoes game.
Yes.
And we have 2 rounds, and there are 4 points up for grabs. First round, highest rated, from 0 to 100%. What movie was it, and what score did it get? Go.
It was E.T. and it got 100%.
1 out of 2. It was Longford from 2006, and it got 100%. Were you in E.T.?
No, I wasn't.
Well,
it's one of the ones I was in.
You idiot! No, wait.
Oh, yes.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I didn't.
Your explanation it was a slightly truncated, I think.
I don't know. Well, you were you just guessing of all time?
Of all time, yes.
I don't think E.T. is the most beloved movie of all time. You're so strange.
Well, no, my favourite movie is Kind Hearts and Coronets.
I've seen that. That's a hilarious one. That's one of those comedies. What do they call them? The Eton comedies? Is that what they're called?
Ealing comedies.
Ealing, thank you. That's right. Yeah, that's one of those, isn't it?
Yes.
With
Dennis Price and Arthur Lowe's in it right at the end, and the one very, very wonderful Joan Greenwood and Alec Guinness.
And Alec Guinness, right? Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Playing Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So it's Longford 100%. Let me think of the other one. The other one's Wolf Hall. It's got to be.
What, in terms of the lowest?
No, 100%.
Oh, okay. There are no second place rounds, Sarah. We've done the highest. It's 100%. It's Longford. Do you want to tell me a little bit about Longford before we move on to the lowest? I see it's got Andy Serkis in it, Jim Broadbent, directed by Tom Hooper. This is quite an impressive array of people.
Tom, and I play a character called Lady Tree, who was extraordinary. In fact, she did embroidery, and she took it to prisoners. And she started this charity, and she's very well known for that. And she was a campaigning woman for the rights of prisoners, but she didn't quite agree with Lord Longford that Myra Hindley was the person that he should champion.
Which is
so my scene was with Jim Broadbent, who was wonderful and taller than Lord Longford, but he was wonderful. And Tom Hooper, I then worked with again on something else, and I can't remember. I've got my memory's completely gone pre-2002. So, although I think Longford was after 2002, but
yes, it was.
No, I worked with him again on something else. Tom Hooper, very charming and very diffident.
Really? How so?
Oh, he wasn't. He hadn't done Cats. And, he hadn't done Les Mis in those days. He was a jobbing TV director.
Yeah.
So although it was a big project at Longford, but no, it was extraordinary.
Yeah, it was sort of his last film before he started being catapulted, because the next one was The Damned United, which was quite big, and then The King's Speech, which was obviously...
The King's Speech was huge, yes.
I wonder if it holds up. I did enjoy it at the time.
Haven't seen it. No, I've never seen it.
Well, I wonder if watching back now, it would be I'd just watch him doing a trick with the stutter and just think, oh, that's just a trick instead of being a character. But I don't know. Could be hating.
Yeah.
I'm not saying definitely. Did you not see Cats? Sarah.
Yes, I did.
Sarah,
I did see Cats.
Did you like Cats?
I liked the dancer, the boy who did the tap dance. Stephen. Oh, Lord. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say, if you could give less than 1, I would say about minus 85. It was a lost cause, really.
It was so many lost causes in one. But actually, I thought it was a weird thing of the sum of its parts was less than the individual, right? So there should have been. There are so many elements there in its favour that it should have been amazing, and it was an extraordinary catastrophe. It should have been amazing. But also, it was actually very enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
In like The Room kind of way. Have you ever seen The Room?
No. Oh, I worked with Lenny who did The Room. Yes. No, I haven't seen The Room, and I will. Bad about I catch up things on television and don't have the Netflix or anything like or Amazon or anything like that. So if anyone wants to slip me a few bob, I can get the Amazon appeal to charity. But so no, I think as I've been called a bit of a cult myself, I think that's what's going to happen to Cats. It's going to be a bit of a cult.
I think so, definitely. Caitlin actually bought me a bottle of Cats branded champagne because it was in Tesco and they'd had to slash the prices a number of times. I don't think anyone was buying.
No, I don't think anyone was. I think I took my sister-in-law as a punishment because she'd been rude. So I took her as a punishment. I think there were 5 of us in the cinema.
Oh, what joy, what joy. Okay, well, that was a wonderful round. Congratulations. Round 2. This is the lowest ranked Sarah Crowden on Rotten Tomatoes. I want the score and I want the movie. And again, these are movies that you have been in.
Okay, let me think. That's a cult. Lots of cults. Let me think. Could it be? No, because that is a cult. Could it be? No, it can't be that. No. Could it be Mr. Holmes?
Interesting choice. Mr. Holmes is very well regarded. It has a score of 88%. So no, it is not Mr. Holmes.
Wrong. It is not Mr. Holmes.
It is Queen of the Desert from 2015. It looks like it was directed by...
Was that directed by Werner Herzog?
Werner Herzog, so I want to hear all about that. Can you guess what score it got?
58.
Minus 40 from it, I'm afraid.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, and again, the sum of its parts, you got Nicole Kidman, James Franco, Robert Pattinson, Damon Lewis, to name but a few, directed by Werner Herzog, who's just extraordinary. So I don't know what went wrong. I've not seen the movie, and I'm not here to critique it. It was just a game. And also a way for me to ask you about Werner Herzog, because I'm sort of a big fan
Maestro,
of him.
I curtsied to him when I went in to meet him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, you're an absolute legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend. And the best thing about him was when we were shooting it, we shot it at West Wickham, the Hellfire Caves and all that. We were all grouped round, and Nicole Kidman came down, and I was talking to one of the SAs, the extras, and he said, I begged my to get me into this so that I could say I've worked with Werner Herzog, and he said he used to say he'd have massive arguments in German with the DOP, and then he would say quiet on my set, and we all shut up.
Right, of course.
Quiet on my set. We were terrified of him. He was terrifying and charming, absolutely lovely, but he was the master, the maestro. He was. Does he do many takes, or is he one and done? What's his style? I can't remember. It was all to do with the lighting. A lot to do with the lighting, and I can't remember. No, I can't remember. But it was lovely, and the lovely cast that day. It was just lovely.
Yeah,
so in and out. It might have been a couple of days. I can't remember.
Wow! I looked into the cold eyes of the bear, and I saw nothing.
But a lot of the crew were German, so there was a lot of German on the set. And I only speak a tiny bit of German.
Do you?
So,
let's hear what German you know.
Well, I speak better Dutch than I do German.
Oh, I'd love to hear some Dutch as well. Why not?
Well, goeie god, manneke. Je bent een... no, I better not say that, because I only know rude words. I was taught lots of rude words.
That's fine. I'll put an explicit warning, unless you don't want to say it for fear of ruining.
No, I don't want to say it. No, I don't want to say it.
I mean, I don't even know what anything you just said was. It could have been complete gobbledygook for all I know. It sounded real.
I said, good heavens, my man, you are, and then I thought I better not give any further.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Why do you know how to speak Dutch? Is this just another one of your many talents?
Well, my husband is half Dutch, and I've shot 4 commercials in Holland, and the last one I did was for Telly 2, mobile phone, and we did dancing with a lot of men in towels, and they had to pretend to be in a shower, so they took their towels off. It was eye-watering, but But anyway, they were all talking about me, and as I was walking past all the men in their towels by that point, and so I said, I went past them and I said in Dutch, oh, that's a joke. And they went, you speak Dutch? I went, yeah. And they were like, I knew they were being slightly, not very polite. So straight after that, they all started speaking in English.
That's hilarious.
or Flemish, because I don't speak Flemish, but I do speak Dutch, and they were horrified. It was great. It was a brilliant commercial. A week in Brussels, and we had to go up in a crane. And actually, there was a lovely stand-up comedian called Jacob Edwards who played my son. And we had to do hip hop.
What do you mean you had to do hip hop? What does that mean?
We did hip hop dance. We had to dance. And
can you throw some serious hip hop moves?
Yeah. And I said to the director after we shot it, I think we went out to dinner on the last night, and I said to him, "Why did you cast me?" And he said, "When you came into the room, he said, I knew that you were up for anything." And he was right.
That's
yes,
cool.
The crane. The day before, it wasn't. I couldn't see this on the storyboard, and then they said, right, tomorrow we do the crane shot. I was like, yeah, you're going to be up on a crane. I was like, I knew nothing about this bank holiday, no agent, not great on heights, and I had a dog on my chest as well.
Oh my God, what? A real dog up in a crane?
A real dog. He was terrified.
Of course he was.
The crap all over me. He didn't know. Jacob had me in his arms, and I had the dog on my chest, and we were lowered down to this extraordinary float in which there was a life size of my face with a tiara.
Oh my God!
It was very much. Yes, it was very much a commercial which you would need to take quite a lot of illegal substances to watch.
Commercials do tend to be super weird, don't they? They've always got too much money. The few I've done, it's always like it's always a ridiculously overblown amount of production going into something that lasts for 30 seconds and most people don't pay any attention to.
Yes, and loads of people, and people hate them.
Tons of people.
I did a Christmas one last year. I'm not going to say what for, and people hated it. They absolutely loathed it. But some of them, oh God, what was the one? There was one I did years ago. For Shaw deodorant, and somebody she was just, oh my God, it was a kid, and she was like, oh my God, you're in the Shaw commercial. It was like, and I was like, well, I've worked at the Royal Shakespeare Company,
Right.
and I've done this film, and I'm known for the Shaw commercial. Okay, that's
Yeah, you got to take it where you can get it, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, it's the same with that. Everyone, and that's the other thing vis-a-vis the stand-up. Everyone says, "Oh, do let me know," and you let them know, and they never come in. They never come, and they never tune into the online ones.
No.
And you're thinking, well, what's the point? Why ask me then? Because, and also, if I had to tell everyone. Thank God for social media. If I had to tell everyone, ring them up individually, I wouldn't be doing any rehearsal.
No.
And yes, we do rehearse in stand-up. Thank you very much. We do. Well, some of us do. Yes, I do, and you do.
Yes.
We do rehearse. It is like giving a performance. We don't just get up there because we feel like it.
No, it is remarkable how many people do think that, though.
Oh, don't they just?
Yeah.
It drives me mad. And they also think with me, because I go in all Dame Theresa up, and they look at me and they go, oh, poor old dear, she's obviously here to see her grandson. And then this one girl went, are you performing? I went, yes. She went, oh. I could see her thinking, oh, Christ. I did the set, of course, and it's unadulterated geriatric filth. I got off the stage and she went, oh my God, I love your set. I love Dame Theresa. I was like, I fooled ya.
Yeah, no, it's how do you find the online gigs?
Oh, they're not too bad because a lot of the comedians are terrified of them, but because I've done stuff to camera over the years, it's fine. It's just like doing a self-tape to camera, really.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's not too bad, and I do props, and I do make sure I had my courgettes in, and I had my elderflower cordial in one time, and which I'd muddled up with a urine sample. And I was asking people who were watching if they'd like to drink it to see which one was the elderflower cordial. No takers, strangely.
No. You do surprise me. Yeah, no, I'm really glad I got you into it because you are hilarious, and it is a fun, different corner of the performing world.
Yes, and it is. I was starting to get paid and things. This is the annoying thing as well. I mean, not very much. Enough for Dame Theresa, but it's money. I'm getting money for it, which it's just the going out there, and I don't have any burning desire to do Edinburgh.
No.
Unless it was with somebody else, but it'd have to be very, very different. It'd have to be somebody very young and probably male.
Is that an offer? Not that I'm young, but
yeah, no, I think it's better. It's a better contrast.
Yeah, I agree.
If you get two old bags there, I did know somebody, but who did a thing with a fellow actress about being menopausal actresses, and I was like, and they went to Edinburgh, and I was like, your core audience ain't going to come and see you in Edinburgh because they're all Edinburgh matrons and they're not going to be interested.
They're not, yeah, and also they're probably going through it and would quite like probably some distraction rather than your face.
I do a fab one plug for a lovely bloke called James Cook, and it's called Board Game Smackdown, and we play games. It's comedians playing games. And Dame Theresa was, by James Cook, the first time I did Edinburgh with him, was he said, who knew that Dame Theresa was going to be the filthiest person in the room, which was very, very reassuring. And he had real, people who make a living from it, Alistair Beckett-King,
I love
Gary
Alistair.
Delaney and Phil Ellis, and and me. He took a massive punt. And it works. I've been back to do stuff for him as well, because the people who know comedy, it's very important to do it for them rather than to get it sucked into the sort of the open mics stuff where the standard is very patchy.
To say the least. No.
To say the least. I'm being kind. Yes, crap. Okay, crap. It's crap.
Yeah, well,
it's crap most of the time because it's full of people who get up and think you just get up and do it.
Yeah. Do you have any memories of who else performed on your opening night at my show?
Andy Hutton.
Andy Hutton. Oh yeah.
Cavi.
He's great. Cavi.
And Nicole Harris.
Was Nicole there? Yeah.
Nicole Harris, one of her very early ones.
Brilliant.
And she's still very much going and very much making a go of it.
She is. Yep. Fair play to her. She's pushing on.
She's hilarious, but she's hilarious.
She's so funny. Also, I mean, she's so quick. She's got that off the cuff thing live that she can just deal with anyone. Which is such an important part of the skill set, isn't it?
Yeah, and she's also filthy unexpectedly. You don't expect some of the stuff she says. Yeah, I've seen her over the. We've done sort of quite a few gigs together now, and I saw her about 2 years after that very first gig, and she's absolutely, as you say, the snappy comeback. It's fantastic. But there are I would say 70-30 duds to good people, I'm afraid,
on the open mic scene.
Yeah,
I would say that's.
I think 70%. Maybe I'm being
generous. Maybe
being a bit generous, but really, the people who've kept going through it, like Nicole and Steve Lee, Mad Ron, they've really, they are really spot on.
It does require a certain what's the word? Drive, you really have to, because you've got to propel yourself so much.
Yes.
It's and you're, it lives and dies kind of with you more than anything.
So I think you have to have an absolute drive to do it. And because unfortunately, acting and writing make me the money, I do stand up less and less now because I can't be honest.
Yeah.
To be honest,
yeah.
It's. I love doing it, and I love performing. When I'm asked, I will say yes, but it's. I like to know now who's on the bill, and there are a couple of places that have. I used to do lots, and then I stopped doing them because they stopped saying who was on the bill, and I thought I'm not being the best person on this night. I want someone else to be up there. It sounds arrogant, but that's how it is. If they don't say who else is on the bill, I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, if they say someone on the bill who is still at the very early stage, I'm not interested in that either.
Yeah, I know.
They have to be at a certain level. But I know, and I love stand-up comedy. I love the audiences.
Yeah,
and they seem to love Dame Theresa. Do you know my cohort, my fans cohort is 28-year-old Shoreditch hipsters.
Hey, that's the target market, isn't it? That's what you want.
Isn't that just bizarre? It's bizarre.
Mine's 62-year-old women. So
well, yes, we are legion. Yes, there are many of us. So you got that one right. Yes, absolutely.
So you've been generous with your time. I'm looking. I think we've been going an hour. I'm happy to carry on. I'm just checking if you've got.
Yes.
Yeah, happy to keep nattering. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yes, Dame Theresa. Dame Theresa may not want to talk about herself, but I love talking about myself. In fact, I congratulated myself at my wedding. I gave a wedding speech, and I thanked myself for being fab.
Which you are, and you were fantastic at my wedding as well.
Oh, I loved your wedding. Your wedding is the best wedding I've ever been to, apart from my own. It was the best. It was the most romantic. It was the coolest. All those cool young people. It was a beautiful and the food and everything. That beautiful place where you had the service, it was fantastic. Sold. Absolutely, that's how to do it. Second string, a third string as a wedding planner, Kate.
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, of course, I don't know how much money there is in that now, because you're only allowed 30 people, aren't you, at a wedding?
Yes,
So.
precisely. But it was extraordinary. I mean, I loved it in every way. It just beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Anyway, we won't talk about my wedding extensively on the podcast, because some things...
No, absolutely.
Private.
Yes.
But what I do want to talk to you about, Sarah,
yes.
Wonderful Sarah.
Yes.
By the way, do you know people are flogging your photos on eBay? Just telling you.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Just checking in, just in case all of this is being done without your knowledge. It's not cool.
Yes, I know I do, and it's some people in Coventry, and they could say, please, can I have? There's a lot of us, and we all watch television together. So please, may I have 3 signed photographs? And she's done it. She's done it about 3 or 4 times, and I know who it is, and so I don't reply to her anymore.
Right, she's not splitting the profits with you, I'm guessing.
Well, no, she's asking for these 3 photographs, which I originally thought were for her sister and her cousin, and they clearly were not. but she's done it twice or 3 times now, and I'm on to her.
Yeah, right. You sniffed that one out. Good.
Yeah. But
good.
I do like the idea of that cameo thing when people pay money to have a blessing from Richard Coles, or they talk to people somebody from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
For 150 quid, but I don't know. Probably 40p is not quite enough. 45p.
Yeah, I got Caitlin a cameo for her birthday from. Do you know who Cisco is? Maybe not.
No.
He wrote a hit called The Thong Song, which was very popular with the kids. I got him to do a cameo, and I even managed to get him to sing on it, which he usually never does.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. I've got some skills.
I mean, it's another income stream which we all have to be looking at in these strange times.
Yeah, that's it, right? Until life theatre. Please come back. Please come back. Anyway, so you worked with the Chuckle Brothers, didn't you?
I did indeed.
I can't believe you've never told me this before. They
were brilliant.
Absolutely astonishing. Of course they were brilliant. Chucklevision growing up was like one of my favourite shows. Oh my God, I'm going to post some clips for people who haven't seen it. It's absolute classic.
It is a classic episode. I didn't realise it was online, and I found it and fell about. It was just, it's insane. It's no spoilers though. No spoilers. But one man and his Barry is the title of the episode. I remember it. It's seared on my memory. And we did a little bit of off the cuff stuff, which was just so adorable.
They seem like such genuinely like nice, actually just finding things funny people.
Yes, and I said to them, Paul and Barry, or one of them, I said, why do you always have people toffs in your show? Yeah. And he said, because nasty things happen to them is very funny. Fair point. Absolutely right.
You do often get sort of cast as the upper crust, don't you?
Yes, it's weird. It's weird, isn't it? It's just bizarre. It's fucking bizarre, Robert. I don't know why. I get to play a lot of bitches, which is.
Do you?
My agent was very surprised. He said, "Oh, but you're so nice." I was like, "Yes, but they see something." So I end up playing these really vile people.
Do you have a mean side though, Sarah? I mean, I've never really seen it. I mean, you can sort of do a bit of gossiping like anyone can, but it's always sort of in good humour and jest. Do you ever lose your temper? Do you ever get mean?
Yes, I do. Sometimes I remember saying something and my daughter went, "Mother, biatch," which was rather marvellous to upset a young person. Yeah. She was very put out. I can't remember what I was being. I think I said something about somebody's performance or something. Right. She was horrified. But no, I think that side. No, it only comes up when I'm irritated. I've got a fairly low tolerance threshold.
But is it only with things to do with like performance and acting and stuff like that, or are there other things?
Oh yes, with performance. And I had the misfortune to work with somebody who thought they were doing Chekhov, and they were just doing it was a modern play, and it was not Chekhov. And in the end, I said to her, "Just say the fucking line. Just say the fucking line.
Wow,
that's what you're there. That's what you're there for." We don't want to analyse it, and and how do I inflect that? Should I move on the word should? Shut up, just say it, just do the fucking job. That's what you're being paid for. Excuse me, rant over.
It reminds me of a story of it's kind of apocryphal. Is it real? Is it not? I think it's Olivier and Hoffman.
Yes, the famous marathon man.
Yeah, go on. Do you want to tell the story?
Yes, when he was doing Marathon Man, and he got up really early one morning and went for a 70-mile run, and he was sort of beating himself with twigs and things, and Laurence Olivier supposedly said to him, "My dear boy, just act." But in actual fact, when I worked with Justin, and he just used to let the camera linger and beyond, when you thought it was going to be cut, he didn't. And he got some great stuff that way from when we were doing Quartet.
That's
just
really clever.
Linger.
Yeah, that's really clever. It's often you'll find something that's so much more natural somehow. Yes,
and it comes out of it. And he got me. There was one bit which sadly didn't make the final cut of me watching Sheridan and crying. And I came off the set, and the third AD said to me, "That was absolutely wonderful." So I'm very sad it didn't make the final cut, because he said, it was extraordinary. But it was just Dustin goading me.
Yeah.
And then this it was very emotional, because it was just a year after my dad had died, so
right.
And he knew a lot of the cast, so it was quite tough doing it.
So yeah, because you were sort of brought up in the biz, weren't you? I mean, your dad was a big actor at the National Theatre during its heyday. I mean, maybe you met Olivier even as a youngster.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember?
Yes, and they were doing the Fado Fast, Flea in Her Ear, and he was playing Posh, the waiter that Albert Finney originally played, and was it that one? Yes, I think it was. It must have been, because Dad was in it. So he took us round and we met Sir Lawrence, as he was then, and all those amazing people, Albert Finney and Edward Petherbridge, John Stride, Ollie Cotton, who was in Bang Bang with us. He was a very, very young actor in the first professional production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, in which my father played the player. So he was the first ever player. Incredible.
That's amazing. So is that where you got? Do you think you sort of inherited your love for it, or were you just? Is it in your genes, or is it being around it growing up? What do you think?
He begged me not to go into it. No, get a proper job. No, it's dreadful. It's very tough, especially for women. But when finally I started in 1974, first job with the Actors Company, not acting, as a student ASM, making coffee and sweeping the stage. And then in 1980, that was all fine, and he came to see various things I did at rep and things. And then when I played Helena in Midsummer Night's Dream at the RSC in 1989, finally he accepted that I wasn't going to give it up and get another job.
Right.
So it was a damn long time. And then we worked together.
Did you?
We worked together 3 times on a radio pilot that I wrote, and which I wasn't in, and then on what was it? A thing called Brotherly Love with Ramsey Nesbitt, and Vanity Fair, when he and Eleanor Bron were my parents.
Wow,
that was good fun.
That must have been brilliant.
It was, and I one came across people. I'm very sad I never worked with Lindsay Anderson. But it never happened. I would love to have worked with Lindsay. He was another genius. One was quiet on his set, I believe. But I was never allowed as a child ever to go onto a film set. Ever.
Really?
I begged him. I begged and begged.
And what was his reasoning?
He said it's boring.
I mean, he's got a point.
He said, it's boring. You'll be bored rigid. I don't think I would have been. But
no.
I implore. But I never in the theatre. We went round to see him. But I never went into rehearsals like my daughter did. I used to take her into rehearsals, and she'd come. I took her to the when we did Flare Path in at the Haymarket with Sienna Miller and Sheridan Smith and James Purefoy. Harriet came to the last night party, and she had a history exam the next day, and we got back as the sun was rising. She still got I think she got a B+.
Well, she's a very smart gal. That's why.
She sure is.
I love her very much. She's wonderful.
She
know
is.
what's interesting though? Probably, and now this might be a bit. Here's some armchair psychology for you, but Harriet doesn't really seem to be interested in being a performer of any kind, and that's maybe because you showed her behind the curtain, whereas your dad, having kept that curtain sort of drawn, probably made it more alluring to you. Like, what really goes on? What do you think?
Yeah, he said to me, you've got to start at the bottom. So I started at a student ASM, and then I went to ASM, then I went to DSM, then I went to stage manager, and then I went to acting ASM at York Rep in 1970. Oh gosh, I can't remember. 76, and then 77, and then I was told to go to drama school to improve my voice. So I went to drama school, and then I came out and did children's theatre and just worked my way up. Didn't do I started in 74, didn't do my first telly till 1980.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the tellies all kept, then the tellies kept coming, which was great.
And what do you prefer? Do you prefer film, TV, or stage? What's your?
Well, an order of preference, I'm afraid, sorry, Papa, it is film, followed by television, followed by commercial, followed by theatre.
Oh, theatre at the bottom of the heap.
I know. Theatre's the hardest.
Wait, are you just saying you're lazy? Is that what's going on?
Yes, exactly. No, my father used to say theatre is what matters. He's right, but it's. No, I. There's a huge responsibility. No, it's awful to say that. There's a huge responsibility with theatre.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
What is it they say? Film makes you rich, television makes you famous, theatre makes you good. I've done loads and loads of theatre. I have loads and loads of film and television.
Yeah,
I didn't think.
I was having a little gander through your CV, which is very impressive. And I noticed you worked with Danny Boyle in the theatre. Now that is super rare. That's not something he does, right? I mean, he's done a couple of things here or there.
Yes, it was very early on. That was at the RSC in 1989, and it was the first ever professional, I think, job for John Hannah.
Wow!
From the Mummy movies, and he played. It was called. What was it called? Epicene, or The Silent Woman, and Ben Jonson play, and he had lots of stalwart RSC people in it, and John played a man disguised as a woman, which was extraordinary. And I played a character called Doll Mavis, who I nicknamed Dull Mavis because she was very dull. She wasn't. It was. I loved being at the RSC. I'd love to go back to the RSC. Greg Duran, if you're listening to this podcast,
Greg. Yeah.
Greg, hello. I'd love to go back to Stratford. It was golden. I just remember. I remember I met somebody who was in our company, and she said, "Oh, I had a really horrible time." And I said, "I was absolutely gobsmacked because all I remember is just being exhausted from laughing all the time and having a riot. It was just wonderful." We had huge audiences. We went on tour afterwards and played to the Liverpool Empire. I think that was a 1,500 seater with no mics, and sold out. And we sold out at the Barbican. It was the most successful Midsummer Night's Dream after Peter Brook's.
Wow.
And in fact, one of the Peter Brook company came to see our production and said it was better. It wasn't, because I saw it was different. But I saw Peter Brook's Midsummer Night's Dream with Francis Latour and Alan Howard.
Yeah,
it was
legendary.
Sublime.
Really.
I think I was. That was when I thought I want to go into the theatre when I was 14.
I saw a Midsummer Night's Dream. It wasn't that one when I was around 14, and it pretty much solidified that I wanted to go into theatre as well. That's really interesting.
And have you played Lysandra? Have you played Lysandra or Demetrius? You must have.
I haven't actually. No, I've been Puck.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I can't go and see it now. I can't go and see another production because ours was so definitive, and I still remember huge chunks of it. So I don't want to see another. I don't ever want to see another production. It's like when they remake films. Why?
Yeah. Why are you doing this? Yeah.
Why these iconic films? I could reel off about 5. I'm not going to. But
No, I know. We all know them, definitely.
yes,
I just saw Disney announce that they're going to do 10 more Star Wars things.
10?
10 more.
We've got to be in those. Oh, can't they play a robot or something? Oh, go on.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure the Disney execs listen to this podcast, but you never know.
You never know.
No.
They might.
They might.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, so ambition still. I don't know. I'd still like to do another Shakespeare play. I'd love to go back to the RSC. Before I get too old, because it theatre takes such a lot out of you.
It really, yeah. That is the other thing. It really is a performance, isn't it? It's an endurance. It's more of an athletic endeavour than film or TV.
Yes, we're in it for the long haul, which is why I think, in the way, the pandemic is making it sorting the sheep from the goats. I mean, I think there's going to be an awful lot of people falling by the wayside.
Yeah, I've had a few friends who've left the business during this. Definitely, there's been an exodus, and that's just from my small sample. I'm sure in the wider world, for sure, there must be tons of people.
Yeah, I think there are, and actually, I've been on and off Facebook over the last 6 weeks, and it's very muted, very subdued,
thin the herd.
But you're screaming into a vacuum. But people announcing that they've got these acting jobs, you can feel the hatred, and everyone's going, "Congratulations, how fabulous!" And I think don't do this. Don't do this at this time.
Don't do that. I'm part of some like voiceover groups, right? Because I've been starting to get into voiceover and trying to get work that way. It seems like an obvious thing to do in this current time, and occasionally you'll see someone be like. So today I recorded 3 reads, an audiobook, and 2 commercials. How was your day? And it's like, you're not asking how my day was. You're just showing off that you've got work. Yeah. It's horrible. Yeah. And like you say, this is not the right time to be going about like that, is it?
Yeah, I had a bit of a spat on Facebook. Somebody said to me, "Oh, I've had 5." People kept on saying to me, "Are you managing any acting during the lockdown?" I'm like, "How? How?" Really, at the height of it, and this man took great exception to this and said, "Oh, well, I'm not boasting, but I've had 5 jobs during lockdown." And I said, "You are boasting, and you shouldn't be doing that when other actors read your page."
Well, exactly.
It's not on.
No, it's not on. That's breaking the code.
Yeah, it's hard enough. It is hard enough without that.
Yeah, my God, I can't wait for it to just come back. Ugh, sorry, broken record.
Exactly.
Broken record.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Do you feel optimistic for the future, Sarah?
Yes, I do. Telly's definitely coming back. Film is coming back. I did hear a friend of a friend of a friend who was doing the Marvel franchise at Pinewood, I think.
Ah, yes.
I think the studios are tentatively opening. I know Elstrie's open for business.
Yeah.
I think they're all open for business, but it's just depending on this prevarication, this shilly-shallying about whether we're in tier 2, tier 3, tier whatever. I mean, a lot of the creatives were bleaching on Facebook in the summer, saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's now July," and then suddenly there was a rush of people saying, "Oh, I'm on this series, I'm on that series." So the telly's definitely picked up.
Yeah, that was when I was on my few things that I've done during lockdown was then. But then when they announced the new measures the other day, I don't know if you saw that. He kept saying these tougher tiers. Yes. I thought, just shut up. But then again, go on. I was thinking about Margaret Thatcher. Mm-hmm. Bring her back. I thought I'd go out with my pitchfork and my flaming torch and stand at Downing Street, going, "Freedom and democracy for one and all." Being Margaret Thatcher. Didn't you play? You played her, right?
Yes, I played her last year.
Yeah, that's right. I remember.
It was brilliant. I opened the show with my speech on freedom and democracy, and I came down to the front of the stage in Oldham. House lights went down, the lights came up on stage, and this voice in the front row of the stalls went, "Oh my God!" Because apparently I looked very like her and sounded like her.
Really?
Poor guy. presumably had nightmares for the next year.
Nonsense. Oh dear.
Yeah, but no, it was great. It was great. I loved doing it. That was breaking the fourth wall as well.
Yeah.
A lot of out front stuff.
A lot of out front stuff, eh?
Yes, we like the front cloth stuff.
Like
Yes,
the front
yes.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, we like the front cloth stuff. But I would. I guess I would like to go back into the theatre, even though it was bottom of my pile. But it's It's trickier. It's trickier.
Yeah. I mean, it's just. I think for me, the camaraderie is more there in theatre because you kind of form a troupe.
Yes.
And which then obviously it makes it a bit cliquey, and sometimes some of the negative aspects of the clique can come out. But thinking of, we've only worked together professionally once, of course, although we've done stand-up together, I suppose. But thinking of Bang Bang and Nicky, it was just such a joy. And the man was one of the most generous people I've ever met. He would always be buying the round, and he'd always go to the pub with us. And just had the most hilarious stories, and just seemed to. I mean, he had met everyone, he'd worked with everyone. He had all stories about all the pythons, of course, and so much more. And he was, you know, a bit rickety, and he had more stamina than me. Like he was just. It was a force to be reckoned with, an honour to work with him, really.
Yes, it was lovely. I knew him when I was a kid. My father's agent used to bring a team down, and he was known as Nicky Handsome because he was lovely. In those days when he was married to Eunice Stubbs, and they'd come down and they'd all play cricket, these actors, and get absolutely hammered.
Have you ever worked with any of the pythons?
Terry Jones. With Terry. Terry was a dear friend for 30 years.
Really?
It was, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he cast me in Eric the Viking as Grimhild Housewife.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid, but I loved Eric the Viking.
I played Grimhild Housewife, married to Freddie Jones. And Terry and I bonded at the casting because of our love of Rupert Bear. And when he came to see me at the RSC, because it was around about that time, he brought me 1950s Rupert Annual in mint condition, which I didn't have. And then we used to meet at the and have lunch in Soho Academy, and then after Eric the Viking, 2 years, 1995, he cast me in Wind in the Willows, so I did that.
Oh.
And I played a made-up character, a character called Samantha, whose Toad stole our car. It was
fun.
Myself and an actor called, producer now, called Hugo Blick, and another boy. I can't remember who the other boy was, who was very nice. And we played the people who Toad stole our car, and then we had to be in court. And so that was on that for I don't know, about a month. I don't know, on and off down in Shepperton. And
I know Hugo Blick. He's written some amazing things.
Yes, he has. He was just starting to write when I worked with him. He was still an actor, and he was doing stuff. He did that the Marion and Jeff thing with Rob Brydon, didn't he?
Did he?
I think. Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that. I love that. I can see it now. He's a producer on that. That's an astonishing series. That is hilarious for those who haven't seen it.
Yes, and something else he wrote, something of Joanna Lumley that he wrote.
Sensitive Skin. I never saw that, but I saw The Shadow Line and The Honourable Woman. I loved both of those. He
was very young. We were also very young in those days. It was 26 years ago.
Wow.
Because Harriet was a baby. I remember her crawling around the floor of the costume when they were making my dress, and worrying about the pins, and she was perfectly happy.
Well, look, I'm starting to run out of time, which is such a shame.
You've got to go. Oh my God.
Such a shame.
But we have to meet up when we're back in tier 1.
When we're in a lower, tougher tiers. Tougher tier. We will. We'll have to have our traditional lunch date soon. But also,
please.
Would you come back and be in studio when we're allowed to do such things, a guest again? Would you like to do that?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes, Dame Theresa and I would be delighted.
Wonderful. So just before we go, something that I often do with my guests is ask them for one of their COVID highs and COVID lows. Have you got a COVID low to start us off?
A COVID low. Let me think. Well, not being able to go to the theatre.
Yeah, it's such a drag.
I do like going to the theatre, even if it's
Even though it's bottom of the bottom of the pile.
I do like going to the theatre. And the longer this goes on, the more I miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, and just being able to, and the whole going out for dinner beforehand as well. And
yes. The
fizz, the excitement, the feeling in the air, the, cheek by jowl nature of it. It's all, it feels like so foreign in a way, but it's so great. It
feels like a dream now.
It feels
it's
like
like
a dream.
going to the cinema. Yeah, it feels like a dream. And COVID highs, the allotment. The allotment has given so much this year.
We loved your produce in this house. It was delicious. I can verify that Sarah is an excellent gardener, green-fingered to the bone.
Oh, my dear, yes, my tomatoes were a triumph, and there will be more chutney. Dame Theresa and my world-famous chutney will be coming your way.
Oh, that's lovely. Well,
all right,
Sarah,
it's lovely to talk to you.
This has been such a delight. And yeah, let's talk soon as we are friends. And I love you very much, and this has been wonderful. I'll talk to you
Likewise.
soon. Take care.
Like huge snogs to Caitlin, and see you sooner rather than later.
Yes, absolutely.
Lots of love, my darling.
Love. Bye-bye.
Toodle pip. Bye.
Toodle pip. Bye. Well, what a delight. What can I say other than she is a true one-of-a-kind national treasure. The wonderful, inimitable Sarah Crowden. And that brings this show to a close. I hope you've enjoyed another episode, another jaunt into the abyss, swimming around, picking up cherries of bliss as we go, popping them in our gobs and eating them, sucking them down and swallowing the stone and growing cherry trees out of our belly and out of our mouths and furnishing the world anew with new cherries. And keep coming back every week, and I will too. And I'll see you next time for another round of the bliss of the abyss. Thank you for listening to the show. This has been The Bliss of the Abyss with your host, me, Robin Newmark Jones, Ruskin Denmark, whatever you want to call me. If you've enjoyed the show, please consider supporting it by becoming a patron. Go to patreon.com/The Bliss of the Abyss and give whatever you can. It really, really helps support the show and keeps it growing and becoming better and bigger and brighter. Follow us on all the social medias, follow me on all the social medias, and give us 5 stars. It helps grow the show. Keep coming back every week for more Bliss of the Abyss.
Message 1. Hey, Nose, it's me. She's calling to see if maybe you're in now, but I guess not, so I guess I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. Talk to you then. Bye.